Oh, is that how you start the show? Welcome to the Natty crew. Why are you all looking jacked?
What's up, IG?
What's up? Is that how Craig does it? Oh, pose it, boys.
You know
what is going on? We're just flexing up here, guys. Husband, bodybuilding sent you an increased crest. Wait a minute, hey guys.
Look at this one. What is that?
Whoa.
That's right.
That's what we got going on. Get some of yourself the Natty juice. All right? Only place to get it, BPI, the Mike O'Hearn Titan Series.
Ooh, delicious.
I'm just going to put this water down right over here as we continue this discussion today. What's up, everybody? Hey, so we just finished up some incredible podcasts this morning that you guys will be able to see, check out, love, entertain with. Do you want me to view those yet?
No. Let's see if he's in.
Yeah, we can see. Kai, when you're going, you let us know, brother. Go live with. Do we send him a request?
Nope. He will.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
You sure? I mean, these people are doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of people showing requests. All right, so as of 10 minutes ago, the movie Generation Iron, Natty for Life, I like to call it Natty or Not, Here We Come, is number 2 in the nation on iTunes. So we are crushing it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys watched it. I have not seen it yet, so I am really interested to watch it, but I'll probably wait for a while before I sit back. All right, Kai, the man, the myth, the legend. We're going to be bringing on my man.
There we go.
Uh-oh, man, coming on here, guys. You're going to enjoy this discussion today. First off, he is waiting.
What's good? What's good?
My man. My man. Hey, you know what? Something that you always say that I love is when you finish off your videos and you do your thing, you always go, let's keep it positive.
Hey, that's what's up.
Let's keep it positive.
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we want to keep it positive. We want to keep encouraging each other. Responsibility is the way to go.
It's a cool thing, right?
Definitely. It's how we use our power. It's how
That's
we recognize
superhero power, baby.
Right.
I love it.
Indeed.
Oh, look at this little monster. Oh my gosh. You coming over to say hi? Go say hi, Uncle.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What is that?
And I see your Mona sneaking around in the background.
Hi.
Wow, he is big.
Yeah.
Aren't all 1-year-olds look like that?
Goodness, man, that's
Look how long this kid is.
That's his feeding him. Man, what are you feeding him?
Tren.
Oh wow,
Tren all day.
Wow, I mean, my goodness. I mean, it is just so great. Wait, hey, he just didn't want to be upstate. He just wanted to come and say hi, huh? The guy wanted to say hi to everybody over there too, and I guess he didn't want to be left out. So,
got to bring the family in.
Yeah, you know what? It's a family show.
There we go.
And that's what we can do that when we aim to be responsible with our message. You get what I'm saying? I get that, and that's why I think I wanted to say hi. What's up, Mona? How you doing?
Mo, come say hi.
Uh-oh.
Well, watch this. Go for it. You can pose out.
I miss you. Yeah, he knows, Momo.
Whoa, with the pink. See, it runs in the family.
Yeah.
Genes run in the family.
Yeah, Titan takes it all after Mama.
Yeah,
that
that
is
is
to do with Mike.
There you go. Wait. We got to have a little something.
little.
Just a little something.
Let's not say little, but yeah, little.
A little. Even if it's just a squirt or two. A little.
Oh, we're posing out. Oh,
whoa.
The family hitting it.
It's a family show.
Oh.
But, you can put the
So
guns
great
away.
to see you. So amazing to see you, and so happy that you guys made this film. I can't wait to see it. I didn't see it yet.
Oh, you didn't see it yet?
Did you?
Oh, well, you know what? I'm still waiting for the director's cut because I want to see all the unedited, edited
Oh,
stuff.
I got you.
Could you imagine?
I'm excited. I want to see the behind the scenes and everything together. Will there be a red carpet this year for this project or no?
The
I don't think
coronavirus lets us know.
I don't think there will be anything except the movie out.
That's what's up. The message is good. The message.
message.
It was awesome to be a part of it. Awesome to be a part of it.
Yeah, mostly because you know it's something I don't think people realize, or it just slips their mind, is how long we've been in this, and for how long we couldn't talk about that other side.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Man.
I was in it with Weeder from late '80s, early '90s, and through the '90s. I couldn't talk about it. Weeder didn't want me talking about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Keep your mouth shut. I like that you compete. I like that you do that. Keep your mouth shut.
Well,
And so we're still here today. We're still doing this. I've known you. If the people don't know, I've known you since you were a little pup, a little teenager.
Way back in the day. Way back. Come here.
wow. Are you
And if
calling
these-
me old? Did you just
And
call
if
me
these
old?
people don't know, you have been amazing from the start with just a beautiful art piece.
Whoa.
You know, the shape, the body, the structure, you know, and I hope people get to meet you. All my fans, if you don't follow, because the fact is, if you don't know him in person, no cameras, no TV, no nothing, but you get to sit down with this man and have a discussion. It's an enlightenment. It is a beautiful discussion with whatever you and I sit down. It's beautiful. It's peace. It's about positivity. It's about growth. It's about connection. It's about enjoying this one life we have. In a sense, for me, that's what I take away from it. It's always a good feeling, and it's always for me, it's like Christmas. It's like, oh, it's a good day. Look at that smile. You know, I love it, man. I love you, kid. I think you are a leader of the health and fitness world. You represent something beautiful to this health and fitness world. And I'm proud to say I've known you since you were a little teenager. And I wouldn't say little. You're never little.
You've been very gracious. You're very gracious and a gentleman, and I'm very, very, very warmed and thankful that you even took that time to say that. But I mean, man, listen, you are and have been, you know, a leading influence for a very, very, very long time. And one of the things that needs to be, you know, understood is what your current efforts need to be understood a lot better than they are. It seems like, one of the things that can very easily get lost, you know, when we start to talk about having a certain amount of spotlight and publicity, when you're a person in the spotlight as often and as high as you are, a lot of times people can feel as if it's always been that way for you, and there never has been any challenges that you've had to overcome, and that there are no issues that you are still very passionate about and very, very committed to that helps you stay grounded. You know, I think one of the things that is a very big thing with this film is the demonstration of responsibility, you know, that you are showing to make the choice to highlight and be a part of a spotlight that gives an opportunity to this side of the training, bodybuilding, lifestyle experience that is competitive and not competitive, but it certainly does provide a option when we consider what the narrative is when we think about athletics, bodybuilding, training. There are people that don't know any better, you know.
Yeah.
When they are asked,
go on that, stay on that, because you're right.
You know,
They
if
think
you bench 400 pounds,
lift,
if you can bench 500
have to
pounds,
do this.
then something is not right about you. You know, in other words, you almost have to, by default, make yourself smaller and not aim to reach as high as you can, and do as best you can for fear that you will be misidentified or demonized or called to be something that you are not. You know, I think when you are bold enough to share your message and to, you know, share your example, you know, through your life and the experiences that, you know, you amass as you travel in this journey, you give other people an opportunity to maybe even liberate themselves, you know, maybe dream a little bigger, you know, and reach a little deeper, to aim to go a little further, because now with your example, they can at least think that there is a possibility of more. You know, I think one of the things that I've seen, that I think has been very crippling to the idea of unenhanced, you know, natural bodybuilding, drug-free bodybuilding, is the self-limiting belief. In fact, I've found that the community has been, you know, rocked by so much misinformation and so big of an idea that you can't and should not aim to be more than what you can be. You know, if you're too good, then you just, you know,
There's no way
about you. You know,
there's no way. If he's that good, there's no way.
if you're 17 years old and you're able to do something because you're passionate and you were able to identify early that this is something that you want to do, and you were unafraid to kind of be willing to work hard at it and do your best, then the fact that you're met with some kind of really good reward, because it is worth it to work, and it's worth it, you know, to find the things that, you know, compel you to do your best, that you're not wrong for that. And somehow, all of a sudden, you know, if you're too good, then it's suspect. I think being natural, the idea that needs to be promoted is that you can aim higher, you can reach deeper, and to challenge whatever you've thought, whatever you've been told, you know, is the thing that you cannot do.
Yeah.
Genetics are only going to take you but so far. I think one of the things about that experience that is a beautiful art form in itself is the ability to reimagine what you want and recognize your ability to control the creation of that thing. You know, my whole self-development enterprise is all about thoughts becoming things, and it's built on that concept of being able to not just accept things for what you see, but to be willing to and daring enough to think more expansively and willing to reach a little further and to do a little more. Ultimately, it's not my genetics, I think, that are going to determine what my success will be in this life.
I don't know if they'll understand that. Let me explain this just to you followers that are not getting this. Genetics takes you only so far. It's the work and the passion behind it. Because I'll tell you right now, and I'll guarantee you're going to say the same thing as me. We have known guys with some of the greatest genetics with no work ethic, and they only did so and then done. There's many guys from my days in the 80s, in the early 90s that had the most beautiful genetics, and then they never went in that far as I did. And then you see guys with genetics and work ethic, and they go to the top of the field. Like, I love Flex genetics and the work ethic. Chris Cormier, I was Teenage Nationals with Chris. And it's, again, I saw him, and I'm walking on stage. You know, I'm 17, and I'm thinking I'm the biggest monster in the world because I'm 220 on stage at 17, Teenage Nationals. I'm going to crush these guys. And then I saw Chris Cormier and Gerard Dente, and I'm like, holy shnikes. These are teenagers? And but they both worked their butts off from that point on. And so genetics is a great thing, but if all you do is chalk it up to genetics and half-ass shit, you ain't going to get there.
See, I personally don't like to enter into my conversation, you know, because the genetic predisposition stuff, you know, I've never in my entire life, from, you know, being a teenage competitive athlete to the present day, never have I found myself with the luxury of being hooked up to sophisticated biofeedback equipment, you know, and analyzed each and every progressive step in my development, you know what I mean, or in my movement of performance. So the ability to say that I've, you know, markered and charted, you know, every extent of what, you know, the limitations or beyond my genetic capacity would be, I couldn't say that I know, you know, and I couldn't say that I knew when I started the
Thank
road
you.
to personal development in this way. One
How
thing,
old were you?
oh man, I started training, you know, I do also at this moment want to also put out there very, very clearly that this, you know, this film is in large part about an idea that these athletes and yourself represent, that is an unenhanced um, um, lifestyle choice that allows you to be um, the example that you are. And because you are so willing to be as transparent as you and the other athletes that are actually featured in this film, you know, the fact that you do not use PEDs or pharmaceuticals or anything in that respect is the thing that not only gets highlighted, but more importantly becomes the example of what is possible. So not because you're saying it with your thoughts. I mean, not because you're saying it with your with with your mouth, but because you're saying it where it counts, with thoughts and actions. Um, to be a part of a film where the viewing audience gets an opportunity to kind of meet each of the athletes that have been, you know, highlighted for doing what they do the way that they've chosen to do it, is a testament to, again, one of the things that I think is very, very important, that it's important to work. It's worth it to work. And the idea of believing that you have to be shackled and held hostage to the thought that the only way you can be successful in this game is to take pharmaceuticals, and that in some ways is supposed to mean be the road to becoming a champion, I think is wrong. And I think it's a really good thing that what you've been able to do with this film, what we've been able to be a part of, what I'm very privileged myself to be a part of right now, is the ability to highlight that message and to share that message with the world. Um, Everybody does not have to accept this idea that in order to be a athlete, a successful athlete, a passionate athlete, someone that's in touch with their ability to see greatness realized in the performance of their own life, does not have to be a person who uses steroids, you know, and the conversation should not be dominated by the nonsensical ideas that come along with that, you know.
So let me ask you then this. You've seen the movie. I haven't, but I've seen feedback already. And so I'm curious on this, because I'm also curious on the whole aspect, and maybe you can help me out on this. The concept that you and I said this, and I said this in my last interview that I just got off, and you said it, which is ironic. I said, this movie just kind of shows you an option. It shows you an option. That's it. For me, it shows you an option. You could do it this way. You could do it that way. And again, it doesn't bother me if somebody does it or somebody doesn't do it. I'm worried about me in my lifetime and Titan. I got to make sure, I'm doing whatever I can for him, and so I can continue this. Now, with that being said, that's my take on what the movie should be about or represent. It just shows you guys that are trying to fight for being the best they can in the option they chose. Why is it that it seems as though this movie's more about the aspect of, oh, you're fake natty or you're natty, relative to option?
You know why? I'm going to say this very, very honestly. I really do believe that Because until the success is able to stand up and boldly confess what he is, not because he's trying to sell a product or because he's, you know, got some financial constituent in his pocket, or he's in the pocket of a financial constituent that needs him to push an agenda that speaks to that company's advance. But when the truth steps up and says, hey man, I'm ready to cry loud and spare not, you know, hey man, this is what I am. This is what I believe. You know, these are the ideas that have propelled me from where I started to the higher heights of the success that I know today. Until you do that, until the audience gets a chance to see that, we live in darkness, you know, because everybody comes up when the person that is able to do that is willing to let their light shine, you know, and that when you say, hey, look, you know, I'm a champion, not because PEDs are the thing in my background, but I'm a champion because this is what I've learned how to do. I've learned how to think, and I've learned how to allow for more thoughts in the time of my day to add up to become the things that allow me to become the success that I dream to be most. Everything that I do is a product of what will answer the question of how I became who I choose to be in this life.
Why do people shut that down then?
Because you know what? It is a lot easier to accept that, well, you know what? He's doing better than me because he has something that I don't have.
Okay, so you've been in the industry a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have something to teach people, correct? Because looking at you, I know that you've trained for a lifetime since you were a teenager. I know that you've dieted for a lifetime. I know you've been in the gym and you found that, hey, maybe squats this way is better for my legs. And then you meet somebody who can teach them this. Yeah, or I love the sumo deadlifts that you do, or Titan right now squatting right back there. But there's knowledge there, and you'd have to be kind of a little slow to not comprehend. Just knowing a little bit about you, I know that there's knowledge there. So when it comes to the other side of that, and again, like you and I have talked about, I've been in this industry and in the magazine since 1987. I don't know how old you were a puppy at that time.
I wasn't in no magazine back then.
but I've been doing articles and training with the greatest, you know, for a long time.
And that you have.
And today I lift just as heavy as I lifted back then. So there's a consistency of the same strength, the same size, the same stuff. Mm-hmm. Is there something to be taught and learned there? Why does the majority of society go, nothing to learn? It's PEDs, move on.
I think because there's just so much information. And the more we learn, I think the more we realize we really don't know. And I think sometimes in an effort to try to, you know, make our way, we almost need to like just simplify everything. You know, we need to simplify it, just make it, you know, and sometimes for simplifying it, I think we can miss some very important pieces of that puzzle that when that information isn't there, the deficit, the hole that it leaves becomes the problem. Because later on, when we've discovered, man, I really want to know that, you know, because I think everybody wants to be increased. Everybody would like to be increased. I think it's a natural thing in life for the expression of life to want to seek and make more of itself. You know, anything that is not looking to expand and continue to evolve and continue to just grow, you know, if you're not growing, then you're getting smaller and you're possibly dying. You know what I mean? I think one of the things that hurt a lot of the times people that aren't living as much as they could be is the loss of vision, the loss of even the ability to recognize that I can decide, you know, to err on the side of life and seeing more expression of that life.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the thought of doing something new, you know,
scary.
Is how that thing is expressed, you know, of continuing to live. You know, if we turn around and say, well, you know, I'm too old for that. I could never learn that stuff. It would take me too much time. You know, the truth is, you know, then to say that is also, you know, indirectly to say some other things that talk about becoming that much closer to accepting the absence of life. You know, I am not prepared to grow anymore. I am not prepared to continue to expand. I will not recognize my responsibility that is due
Yeah.
me. If I
I
do,
hope they grasp some of that in this project. I hope they grasp that, because I think you said some key points there. The point of you can get better, or you know, you and I know this, that we're in gyms all the time, but we see these late 20-year-olds, early 30-year-olds going, "Hey, is it too late for me?" And I'm over here going, "Is it? You're 30.
yeah,
It's never too late. You're 50." I hope those guys know that it's not too late, and I hope that they get the concept that with weightlifting and nutrition and passion over motivation, that you can create something that's beautiful. And maybe you're not Mr. Olympia, but you got a heck of a body and a good spirit, and you're creating an art piece. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I think of bodybuilding as an art piece, and you're creating this art piece. And that's why I like to stay covered up. And then you reveal that art piece and show the world, hey, this is what I created with the time I put in. And I hope everybody knows that in a lifetime that they create something they're proud of in that sense.
man. You know, I remember the time that you referenced earlier in this exchange on the Instagram Live. When you opened up, you talked about a time that, you know, Joe Weider still had the reins of not only the sport but the PR, and with that, Weider Publishing, you know, had the responsibility of, you know, being a leader, you know, not only in, you know, helping people see through their publications and the various things that they put out that related to the training and stuff, but, you know, they had a responsibility to kind of maintain what the public face of this experience was. And one of the things that they did with that was, back when Weider had the reins to protect his enterprise and continue to grow it, one of the things he did not do was to talk candidly about, you know, PEDs. You know what I mean? And there's some people, myself included, at another time in my life, you know, thought that that was wrong. You know, there are people that will say today that, yo, man, you're not talking about PEDs. That's not keeping it real. You ain't keeping it
I
real.
hear that a lot.
You know, nah, man, you just wrong cause you lying, yo. It's not right. But then I had to do some growing myself, and I got a chance to experience a lot more. And on this side of it, I've now traveled to a lot of different parts of the world, and I've gotten a chance to see a lot more than just the corner or the sidewalk that I knew in my local neighborhood.
Yeah.
And what I understand is that the world is so much bigger than just the things that I think are important to me in this moment based on the limited view that I can see. With that said, there was a responsibility that I could not consider when Weider recognized himself to be at the helm of a massive enterprise that was expanding its reach well beyond 64 countries and throughout the world. The responsibility that comes along with that when you are the ambassador of this message, you know, has to be more than what the average person just working in their, you know, short-sighted order of thinking of what keeping it real means, and how you speak responsibly when you have voices and ears that are listening to you at varied stages of their development. It was important because when I was 14 and I was 16, and I really wanted to know how to get in touch with that increase, and I looked in the magazines and I saw these visions of things that made me so inspired to believe that there was a larger possibility for me. The reality was, if you'd have told me about PEDs and things back then, you would have destroyed my dream of possibility that that was something that I could attain unless I did those things.
Yeah.
But because Weider did what he did, and because of the athletes that were now able to come on board and share their stories, with their varied influences and experiences, what happened was they showed me an opportunity to see deeper into myself and to imagine the possibility of how far could I really go if I really became really passionate about really doing this thing that I said I was passionate about doing. What happened was they encouraged me to recognize a power and a strength in myself by delivering the message that was just that. There's only one message that you can deliver when you're in a position like we are right now, particularly when it comes to the idea of hope and encouragement. There is nothing to be confused about. If you think for a minute that myself or anyone in my position is supposed to sit here confused about what keeping it real is about, when you speak as a voice that reaches and influences potentially millions and across the world, much larger than the sphere of influence that I know on my corner and my block, then the reality is, yo, man, I cannot be foolish. I cannot be immature. I cannot be irresponsible enough to imagine that my responsibility here is to talk about PEDs in a way that, yo, man, this is how you need to do this. This is what you need to do. Go take these. No, what you need to do is find out what's important to you. Understand why it means so much. And even if you don't, understand and recognize that there's a power in you that is capable of achieving even things that you don't believe are possible. Tap into that. Protect that. Take care of it. Learn how to use it. Because that is the way you can become the success you dream to be.
100%. And something else I think too is with the world, the louder voice in the world is to create a physique, you have to go this route. And that's the louder voice. Obviously, we're in the industry and we know that you can create something beautiful without. We again, Mona's 45 yeyears old, breastfeeding a baby, and she's more jacked than most haters that create, and they're, it's like she's just had a baby, guys. Stop. It doesn't work that way. But a lot of people chalk it up to no reason to diet, no reason to lift, because I just have to do the other thing. And I hope that everybody that's watching today and watches this movie takes away the fact that you can create something beautiful. And what I think it's the underlining the passion of just create the very best you can. That's the ultimate goal of weightlifting and doing this. And for you kids out there, get this out of your mind. You kids, I mean, trust me, everybody goes to school. Everybody sees this growth spurt. Everybody sees that these football players, everybody looks at me and they go, you're a monster of a man. I'm a big guy, but I've always been a big guy. But there's football players twice my size. And I think the world's assumption is if you're above 5'10", and you're over 200 pounds, you must be doing something, which is a mind-blowing concept to me. And
well, you know what? I got to piggyback on that, because here's the thing.
Let me finish this, because I think you and I will know this. Us as bodybuilders or fitness people, we may have more fame than a lot of people. But me going into and all my buddies that are football players, and you go into these locker rooms and you see all these guys that don't know how to diet, don't know how to train, and they're bigger and more strong. They're bigger than I am. And it's like society doesn't see that part. So hopefully you kids out there understand that this is not something you need to go to. Take it away that, again, weightlift, exercise, put the work in, and you're going to be able to create some incredible physiques that you're going to be able to keep for a lifetime too. So hopefully that passion is there. And hopefully, again, what I would like you to pick up from the movie is, again, hard work pays off. Options are options. And again, going back to how articulate Kai put it, is that find out within yourself what that ultimate goal, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on that with you.
Go.
Yeah, that's I've never been, any more than 5'8", so even now with the acting stuff that I'm doing and the roles that I've gotten a chance to go and read for, and even found myself at times fortunate enough to be casted in the part. What I've discovered on set a lot of times is, wow, you know what? The expectation was that I was supposed to be taller. You know, the idea of being 5'8" was not necessarily, what fit. You know, the idea of being the sizable, more muscular man that was, casted in the role that I was fortunate enough to pick up, even like with Stranger Things and that opportunity,
Which was awesome. Which
huge,
kid,
huge for me.
great job. Great job.
But what I found that with being there was that, originally a lot of times in the script, it was very clear that the expectation was, to cast an actor that was going to be, a lot taller than I was, and a lot taller than I am. And I find that a lot even now. But why am I saying this? I'm saying this because, the size of the man, I think for me, bodybuilding was the thing that helped me understand, how to put that in a better perspective. It's not the question you ask. A lot of times it's how insightfully you're prepared to look at that question and search within that question for the answers to the real questions that evidently we really want the answer to. Everybody will talk about love, give me love. I want love. I want somebody to love me. But what happens is, when you get love and you turn around and find out, well, shit, love by itself is wishy-washy. I really didn't need love. I needed you to be, emotionally sensitive. I needed you to be responsible with how you handled my feelings. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things, I think, become the things that give that word love substance and value. It allows me to now be able to put it into a context that I can now use and apply and understand. So the same thing I think with like the size of a man, hey, I wanted to be big. A lot of people want to be big, but I believe that on the quest of becoming bigger, recognizing myself starting out, not to be a very tall man or a very tall kid, prepubescence or whatever, I learned through this experience that it wasn't just that I wanted to be big, tall, or just having big muscles. What I learned was that at the root of this experience is self-development, mastering myself, learning how to think and apply my thoughts to the creation of big dreams, large visions. It's a dream so big that I was so committed to that allowed me to take my arm and expand it from just a few inches to many more inches. It's not the size of my body, but the size of how I learned to use my mind. And I'm saying this now because I know that there are people out there that are probably tuned in today and they don't know this. They thought that they came on here to hear, Mike say, yeah, well, I got Trent in the back seat over here and I'm hiding it over there. And they wanted to hear Kai turn around and say, yeah, well, Minakai's holding my stash and this is what we do when nobody's around and the cameras aren't, But my intention is to recognize again why this movie is so important and why your involvement with the film as it's been is such a very big thing to do, because what it does is it not only allows for a spotlight to be shined on everybody that's involved with this project, but it allows us to also understand what the real question is. The real question is not about being natural for life and what that, who's on drugs and who's not on drugs. The reality is, man, at the root of this experience, you have people that are showing you decisions that they've made that have ultimately helped them evolve into the success that we love them for today. The personality that you are known for, that you are known to be, and that people have all over the world responded to for so many decades now, is a vision of success that a lot of times I really do believe quietly in the mind of everybody, when they think about what they want to do with their life, where they want to go, we see success. We want to see success. And when we see people that are successful and we have an opportunity to see them and interview them or hear someone interview them or talk with them, we want to know, hey, man, how can I be put in touch a little bit more with that possibility of success for myself? Can you speak to the idea of increase for me? What is it, Mike, that you can offer me today
Kai Greene on this experience right now on this IG live, that in some way, if I'm able to think about it later on or hear an excerpt or two, what will be that thing that you said that will somehow be able to be applied to help me see things maybe a little bit clearer, or help me advance strategies of developing my life in ways that I probably hadn't thought about before, but realized, man, this does resonate well with me, and I think it helped me going forward. I think that all of that becomes possible because you actually were part of this film and you actually were courageous enough, to give back. That's what this is, and every athlete that's been featured in this film that has shown what it looks like to do this thing by the choosing that the choices that they've made. Hey, man, I don't use PEDs. This is what I do. This is how I understand it needs to be done. And this is what's working for me. Hey, man, that becomes an example for anybody else out there that's saying, wow, you know what, I would like to do that, but I don't even think it's possible. I've not even seen, a reference out there anywhere that even promotes that possibility. Because there is an example. You are the example. We are an example of some really powerful messages. And yeah, man, I'm really thankful that you decided to do. And I'm really, really grateful, for Generation Iron and the powers behind the scenes that have, brought us together and made this thing the reality that we now can take for granted. We've done it.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember our first talk? I think we were in Atlanta. Was it Atlanta? You were young. You may have been maybe 20. Could have been 2021. We had a nice talk.
You just like, wow, you just like.
I just went back on you. I just went back on you. The reason why I love, we had a talk, and I remember a couple of years ago, you and me were talking, and you messaged me and you said, I just want to tell you that thank you for the conversation we had back then, because you were doing a struggle. You were in a struggle, and I just said, man, I believe in you. I think you got everything there is, and you got the soul. And I just kind of talked to you, and you said something to me the other day. And I hope these people out there know that you have had struggles. I have had struggles. And we're sitting here today, yes. But there's been many a times I've cried and been broken and felt down, but picked myself back up and kept going. And I know that, I imagine for you too, is the same thing, that this isn't just easy. Everything that we're saying about just go work out and just do nutrition and you're going to be great. It's not easy, but we've gone through struggles and it's all right. And you get down on yourself. And, but again, nobody that's great that I've ever met has not had incredible struggles through life. So, I just remember that our talk back then and stuff like that. And it's those moments, and I hope these guys today watching this movie, maybe there's a moment in the movie, maybe there's something in the movie that triggers, or just you and me talking, that triggers for this nice 16-year-old, 17-year-old that doesn't know what he wants to do. He believes in himself, but doesn't believe in himself, but he gets teased, and whatever it is, he knows to fight through this and keep going. I hope somebody out there is doing that, because I know that we're talking again.
Right.
Only 5% of these people are going to really create the dream. And the majority of society is just going to go, forget it. Fake natties, move on.
But you know what? That may be that's very true, and that may be true for them. But I don't believe in doing things in vain. I really do believe that there is someone that needs to hear that message. That is spoken to by the example that you present right now very articulately, and that's why the example has to be there. You know what I mean? That's why it has to be there. If I didn't see you on the cover of the magazines, powerlifting with these great records that sound crazy, on a day when I was going to the gym to train as a teenager, there's no way that I would have imagined that it were possible to think so boldly. But because I saw that, and I saw the natural comment, the natural idea that was, publicized at different times, it gave me license to imagine another possibility, you know. And I think that's really an important thing. It's a real important thing to remember, at least for me, because it's through that I was able to explore and discover larger possibilities in my own ability to perform and aim to be, and to aim to become, you know. You have an opportunity every day to represent some kind of idea. You will serve as an example. You know, somebody at your job, believe it or not, whomever you are, when you go to work and you do what you do, there's somebody that, you know, sees you every day. There's somebody that has taken notice to something that you do every day in the whether it's in the break room, in the elevator, you know, where you park your car, where you shouldn't have parked your car, you know, whether you parked, whether you know, came in late or didn't come in late. My point is that we are an example every day of some ideas, you know, and particularly when you are in the spotlight, there is even more responsibility that is put on your shoulders that you need to consider when thinking about, well, what is the example that you want to represent? You know, there can be only, you know, one idea that is worthy enough to represent when we talk about speaking to the largest audience, at least for me. And with that said, I am again, I'm going to thank you for being, you know, the champion and the ambassador that you've, you know, accepted the responsibility to be, you know, with doing a project like this, and, you know, being able to have the ability to come on board, as I have, to be able to help have these kinds of talks with you, and in an effort to promote the film and things. It is an honor and a privilege, you know. It does my heart a lot of good, because I know the value in what this means, you know, because you are crying loud and sparing not when it comes to not holding your good gift hostage. What you do is you allow for thousands and millions of other people all over the world to get exposed to an idea that is not bad, that is positive at its root, and it only aims to give more and more positive value that continues to return and return again. So yeah, man, I just want to say thank you on that one.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for doing this today. And again, I know that everybody that's watching this is going, hey, I want to know about this, or the training principles and nutrition, or fake natties. We'll talk about training and nutrition and all that at another time.
Yeah, man.
Bring
I got ebooks. Real talk. You can. I mean, I ain't trying to.
Today was real talk.
You know, you can follow Kai Greene. You can come on over here and check it out. I mean, here's the truth. Yeah, and what I do have to say with that is even though we have ebooks and we have, those are things that are vehicles to talk about that stuff. What I've learned though is that when having an opportunity like this is really the thing that the people were looking for. They wanted that increase. They didn't know. You talk to me and help me to understand that I am not alone. I am not the only person that has gone through some struggles, but you have, in order to become the success that you are, that I know that I'm able to see you on my TV or on cover of my magazine or my coffee table in my room. The reason why you are is because you've very cleverly found a way to overcome a lot of those challenges and obstacles and allowed yourself the opportunity to create the reality that that we know as your success today. And that is the piece of increase that I believe I would be looking for, I was looking for, and what I'm continuing to look for now. I believe that it's not even a question about the haters, because I don't even think about acknowledging the haters, because if I ever try to look at haters, I'll just start to see and make more haters. You know what I mean? I feel like what I need to do, though, in an effort to attract more of the things that I want, is to focus my thinking and my gaze on those things, those influences that will help me grow, help me build myself in the direction that I wanted to go most. When I was an amateur competitor and I didn't know whether or not I could ever grow and win the natural Mr. Universe or win the natural Mr. World or there were times in my life back then when I thought, well, should I be on PEDs now? Is that what they say I'm supposed to do? You know, in fact, if I don't do that, does that mean that I can't win? And every time that I turned around and focused and worked a little harder, reached a little deeper, I found that I was able to answer my own question, but not through someone else's limiting beliefs that they told me. It was now through a course of working and seeing for myself that it is worth it to work, particularly when you have a worthy purpose that hinges on your ability to become your larger and better self.
Everybody that's watching this today, go back and watch this again and really listen to what he's saying there, because it is, I'm talking to you odd birds out there, the kids like me that grew up with reading disabilities and couldn't read or write, got put into special ed, was told that you're different, told that you weren't going to make it. All of you guys, I hope you go back and know that that beautiful thing that you think is a burden may be the greatest gift in the world, because it makes you think differently than the majority of society, and it makes you believe that you got to look in yourself to find the greatest champion in the world instead of trying to find it on social media or try to create it. Go within yourselves, and I hope you guys watch this again. Listen to what Kai is saying here. It is poetry to me. And the belief of, if you want to know how to do something great, I don't care if it's bodybuilding, I don't care what it is, but just something great in life, go back and listen what he's saying, because, man, that struggle within yourself, when you conquer that, when you own that person, you crush in life. So, Kai, you are an absolute gem. I have never met anybody in the world like you, and that's what I love about you. You are such a unique cat, and I'm proud to say that I've known you since you were a little teenager. Again, not little, but just a teenager. And again, man, I value our discussions when we have them, and I'm loving that we get to do this together and talk to, like you said. And I'm gonna actually take what you said and not acknowledge the haters, and just kind of keep acknowledging those people that want to fight for the dream and live the dream. So on that note, can I get a close out?
Whoa, he
What's
got the
going
good.
on there?
He got the good. Oh my gosh, see, I got to do it like this though, because I'm waiting for my clothes. I didn't shave this morning. I might have to hide that. But yeah, man.
Oh, we're coming back over.
Uh-oh.
He's got a new car.
He's got a new car.
Got a new car.
Imagine how big this kid's gonna be.
Yeah, well,
Look at.
It's the genetics.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's beautiful. See, that's one thing I didn't do. I didn't do. I have to really work on that. Shout out to you and Mona. I'm still very, very proud of you, man. So yeah, that's the incomplete thing that I need to work on right now.
This guy and his little fake natty shoulders. What's going on? A 1-year-old this jacked. Just think of all the hate I got. Imagine what this kid's gonna get. That's a 1-year-old.
Feet. Look at his feet. His feet.
Oh my gosh. What? Yeah, ready? Thanks, buddy. Let's lift. Leg day. Thank you. I love you.
Thanks again, Mike. Everybody
Next week,
there.
you know what we're doing?
Mona, Titan.
Momo, get a flex out.
Miss you.
Show the guns. Show the guns.
Go!
Miss you guys.
Hey, we'll talk soon.
Absolute. I'll see you next week. A little WWE for us, huh?
Yeah, but we can't.
We'll talk before then.
That's what's up, though. All right, bro. Thanks for giving me the opportunity, man. I appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Same, brother. Be good. Guys, woo! How incredible was that? Truly incredible. Again, hopefully you guys go back and watch this again. I'm going to put this whole video on my Instagram TV, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So you guys can continue to watch this in the future. Again, for all of you odd cats out there, man, keep doing it for us odd cats here. There's not a lot of us. that live the dream mostly for a lifetime. And I'm talking to you all around the world. Also for you kids, please watch this movie. Understand there's an option. If you can, hold off on going down the other option. If that is something that you decide later on in life, wait for that and do it when you know everything. But if you're a kid, you're growing like a weed. Again, you guys know by the time I was 15 and a half, I was already bigger than I am right now. So take that into consideration for you guys. Again, I teach all of this to you guys. I try to teach you, and I also try to give you more information and try to tell you what I did, and then also on the mistakes I maybe have made, like the training principles that I did as a kid where I shouldn't have, that would have got me bigger and stronger. So I try to teach all that stuff to you over on the Titan Crew. So everybody get over on the Titan Crew so we can continue this discussion and we can go through it and we can keep getting like this. And that way you guys, no matter how old you are, if you're 15 or if you're in your 50s, you're still crushing it and doing your great things. Again, there is just a small few of us that are willing to do this day in and day out and work. And like Kai says, what I'll do is 100%. I do. Sorry, unfortunately, any kind of negativity or haters, we do block on this page. No reason for it. If you don't know, my livelihood is real estate, not this bodybuilding world or social media. I actually have real business. So we don't need to get tons and tons of followers. That's not the point here. What I would like is just the quality of followers. So we really do team down. And Serge, Jeff, come on over, pose in. Pose. Oh, is that Larry Scott right there?
What's up,
What's up? And then the Surgeonator.
What's up,
Oh, jeez Louise. So for you haters, don't worry. It probably doesn't get to me. These guys block you before I even see it. Have a great day, Titan Crew. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.